What's up, everybody? Hope you're having a great day, or at least a better day than Twitter is. Twitter has lost 50 of its top 100 advertisers since Elon Musk took over, report says. Half of Twitter's top advertisers appear to no longer be advertising on the website. A report from Media Matters for America states that these 50 advertisers have spent more than $2 billion on Twitter ads since 2020. And here specifically is that report. Talking about, again, 50 of the top 100 advertisers, $2 billion since 2020. And there are some absolutely massive companies on this list. AT&T, BlackRock, Chevrolet, Chipotle Mexican Grill. These companies are huge. Now, Ford specifically released a statement about this, saying that we are engaging with Twitter to understand the direction of the platform under their new ownership. As is normal course of business with significant change in a media platform, we have temporarily paused our paid advertising. Our customer care interactions on Twitter will continue. The company said in an emailed statement. Now, an important note about this, when something like this happens, is that these companies pretty much care only about profit. They are not concerned about wokeness or political left or right. If they think they stand to lose profit by continuing to advertise on Twitter or be associated with Twitter through the negative press that could stand to cause, then they will pause the advertising. It has nothing to do with anything other than their bottom line. And the most recent and perhaps most famous example of this would be the YouTube adpocalypse of 2017, or I guess started maybe in 2016. But what happened was that PewDiePie, who was a YouTuber at the time, came under fire for posting videos that people deemed anti-Semitic and had supposed hate speech in them. These videos included references to jokes about Adolf Hitler, as well as two Indian men holding a sign stating "Death to all Jews." That is not a great look for PewDiePie, first of all, and also for YouTube as a whole. And so a lot of these big advertisers like Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Johnson & Johnson got concerned that YouTube was going to become a site for extremists, and they didn't want their brand to be associated with that platform. If their brand got associated with a platform that was for extremists, people might shy away from it because they were concerned about the kind of statements that brand was making. Being on an extremist platform straight up is bad for profit. If you're one of these huge global companies, it is bad for profit to be on a platform that exploits or represents any kind of extremist views. Now, I am not saying that Twitter is an extremist platform, nor am I saying that it'll become an extremist platform, nor am I making any kind of statement about whether what Elon Musk is doing is free speech versus terms of service. I am only reporting on the facts, and the facts are that these companies believe there is a possibility that they will be associated with extremist speech by advertising on Twitter. Ergo, they're just pulling the plug on the whole thing just out of an abundance of caution. Now, before we jump into the why the companies are doing this, I do want to call out a little bit of the sensationalist journalism that's going on here. Look at these big bold letters: 50 of the top 100 advertisers, nearly $2 billion in revenue spread on the platform since 2020, $750 million in advertising in 2022 alone. They have big, bold letters, and they wanted to be able to declare this big 2 billion number, which is why they do not give you the 2020 numbers or the 2021 numbers. They only give it to you as a collective. So let's do just a little bit of math here. Here is Twitter's revenue. In 2020, their revenue was $3.7 billion. 2021, their revenue was $5 billion. 2022, we don't have the numbers yet because 2022 isn't over, but we will generously guesstimate at another $5 billion. That puts us at $13.7 billion over the 3 years. And if we take the $2 billion out of that, that only comes out to about 14.6% of their total profit. And that's not nothing, to be sure. But 15% is not the big social media kind of ending numbers that these big bold letters and this in less than a month Elon Musk has driven away half of Twitter's top 100 advertisers. It's not the doom and gloom that these companies are saying that it is, or these media reports are claiming that it is. Now, for those of you who are curious as to why all of these companies are suddenly jumping ship, that is the fault of this group right here. This is the Omnicom Media Group. They are absolutely massive. Don't let these kind of small, local, office-y vibe startup pictures here in the background fool you. They are huge. In fact, they are so big that they netted $15 billion in revenue in 2019, making them the second largest advertising agency in the world, behind only WPP, based out of London. And they sent out an internal memo saying Twitter's ability to maintain their previous level of brand safety measures and effectiveness seems to have been impeded in the immediate term, whilst OMG, which is Omnicom Media Group, believes this is unlikely to result in a significant higher risk environment for advertisers. The risk of being associated with unsafe content could rise, and as such should be considered when deciding on use of the platform. That is kind of a death blow for Twitter in this, as far as these advertising companies are concerned, specifically because Omnicom does advertising for companies like McDonald's, Apple, Unilever, and Johnson & Johnson. It is massive that Omnicom sent out this memo. And before people jump into the comments saying that this is malicious or clearly Omnicom has something against Elon Musk, they do not care. They are a advertising media giant only interested in the profit of their clients, because the profit of their clients will translate into profit of theirs. So if they are saying that this is happening, then they're genuinely concerned about it. They are only worried about their bottom line, as are their clients. So they have to keep their clients' bottom line as safe as possible, and that might mean preemptively jumping the gun on something like Twitter. So they will pull the plug on Twitter advertising and take all the money out of that, and they might put it towards Facebook or YouTube or Google or something else. That money isn't being saved. They're just picking it up from one place and moving it to another safer place until they figure out if the first place is okay or not. So as kind of final thoughts that I have going here, these companies don't have any malicious intent towards or against Elon Musk. They only care about profits. And if the profits might go down or they might be associated with bad press or bad media, then they will preemptively pull plugs just to play it safe. And then they'll come back later. And they might come back later because Elon Musk is looking for someone else to run Twitter. Want to work for Elon Musk? Elon Musk says he's going to be looking for someone else to run the company. Basically, he says there's an additional burst of activity needed post-acquisition to reorganize the company, he told his lawyers while speaking during a trial over his Tesla pay package, which is, don't even worry about that, but I would reduce my time commitment to Twitter. I'd find someone else to run Twitter over the long term. So probably what he's going to do, he's going to come in and he's going to kick out all the engineers he doesn't think are good. He's going to reduce the work from home, forcing some people to quit if they don't want to work there anymore. He's going to shake things up to try and get as much money as possible through things like the $8 Twitter Blue. And then he's going to head out and he's going to give control of the company over to someone else. And probably when that other person takes over, the advertisers are just going to come back. Those 50 companies that we saw, probably they don't want to be off Twitter long term. So once someone else is running the company and it's no longer controversial that Elon Musk is tweeting every 5 seconds and sending the stock prices up and down like a musical wavelength, then they're really going to be okay and they're going to come back. And I would bet we'll see that happen in the next year or so. So I don't think this is any kind of doom and gloom, Twitter's absolutely going to die news like this kind of report would suggest with the big $2 billion in advertising revenue that they might possibly not be getting in the next year. The last thing I want to call out in this report is it says the companies, if they have an asterisk next to them, then they have publicly confirmed that they're no longer advertising on Twitter, but the rest of these are so. Oh, there's the first one, Chevrolet down in the sea. That's a lot of companies that are just quiet quitters. And this is significant because Ford claimed that they were no longer advertising on Twitter, but when they were sent a screenshot of a promoted tweet from Ford, the CEO and the spokesperson could not confirm when the last time it may have collaborated for paid ads. So it's possible the companies are just saying this well, maybe doing it, maybe not doing it. It just kind of depends on whatever floats their boat at the time, because again, it is all about media and press and what they are associated with and whether or not they think that will affect their bottom line. So, probably Twitter's going to be just fine. Probably these advertisers are going to come back, and probably that's going to happen after Elon Musk finds someone else to take over the company, and probably I could be wrong about all of that, so we will just have to wait and see, and if I am, I will make a follow-up video about that. So all of you have a wonderful day, and we'll see what happens to Twitter.